You go and tell the agency that gave you the LPO that you're unable to service the tender. So what does that mean? It means you have taken our money, that money has no security, and it means then our money is lost because the agency is not able to pay since you did not service that tender. So therefore, if we were all able to be honest and trustworthy, the cost of lending money will be very low. But because we have a few of us who want to play tricks, then that ends up making borrowing a little bit difficult even for the people who would want to be honest. So thank you very much.
Next, Luezo, it's WEF. Give the contact if you have no question.
Thank you so much. For Women Enterprise Fund, I would like to answer to a question of Nashipa, who asked where or on how they access the loans. For Women Enterprise, once you apply the loan, that's why we say it's affordable and accessible. The turnaround time is 30 to 45 days. The women should have a registered group of membership of 10. We start off with 100,000, graduated them to 750,000 to $1 million, and you can easily access the loan. Then, for those who, for the one who asked about LPO, we also do LPO financing. If you happen to be a woman or have a woman enterprise that has secured a tender, you have an AGBO certification, then you need to supply. We finance to a tune of 2 million shillings. That is 60% the value of the tender. For us, all our loans are interest-free, but we charge a 5%. A 5% administration fee is charged on all the loans. Thank you so much. For our officers on the ground, in Narok West constituency, we have John Lepore, who is myself, 0720-471-882. We are located at Lemek. This is his headquarters. And also in Narok South, we have John Lepore. Actually, we currently have an open vacancy which the youth, I encourage them to apply in Narok South and Narok East constituencies. So in Narok South, I'm actually acting for in that position. That still remain my contact, John Lepore. In Narok East, we have John Ketere, 0719-417-562. Is in acting position. In Narok North is John Ketere. The officer there the number is still the same, 0719-417-562. In Kilgoris constituency, we have Mr. Simeon Sankey, 0704-346-889 at the DSDS office. In Muru Adikir, we have Mr. Korir, 0791-475-119. For more information, you can visit us at our desk and we'll be able to serve you. Thank you so much.
Asante sana. Let's go to Gav. Contact.
Thank you very much. For Ngaf, Kilgoris, these are the county committee members. We don't have staff at the ground. We have the committee members. So we have Grace Naiguran for Kilgoris, 0710-638-612. We have Richard Langat for Narok West, 0723-441-492. We have Cheriot Michael for Emuru Adikir, 0752-217-917. We have Catherine Muntet for Narok South, 0717-252-137. We have Samuel Kiruti for Narok East, 0708-293-085. We have Sophie Maranga for Narok North, 0723-945-656. Thank you so much. At least I can recognize the presence of a few groups that I have seen here who've benefited from GAP. I have seen Linda Arts. I have seen Niselenke Nema. I have seen Nintoyema. I have seen Ogek Self-Empowerment Group. I have seen Mafsai Beekeeping Initiative. And I have seen Ololulunga Elites Youth Association. Congratulations, and all the youths are invited. Karibu sana Ngaf. And for us, we say empowerment for self-reliance. Thank you.
Asante sana. KEFCB. Contact. Answer the question in half a minute.
Okay, answering a question in half a minute. I believe half a minute is more of a miracle, but I'll try to do it very fast. The first question about Ajira Digital, I would just love to say, maybe with the presence of our CAS here, Madam Nadia Abdallah, she will, when talking, she will answer that. But I would love to tell the person who asked that, you don't need to know anybody. You need to know yourself, have confidence in yourself, have the right skills, follow and trust the process and know God. There's nothing like who knows who. It is you know yourself and trust the process. But I believe I'll brief the CS. She'll be able to tell you about the Ajira Digital. The second question, maybe I would love to pass it to my colleague here, Madam Catherine, so that she will answer well, because the question really falls much under her docket. Otherwise, about our contacts, first, you can come to the tent there in the interest of time so that we give you most of our contacts. We are very, very digitalized, so we are mostly found online. Follow our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of them, our website, and you'll get a lot of support. Kenya Film Classification Board, our handles. But just come to our tent, we'll give you more information in the interest of time. Thank you.
Very fast, I want to. Very fast, I just want to respond about the Ajira Digital, even as we wait for Madam CS to give more information. To mention, I alluded to that earlier. The creative economy is one of the key sectors that accelerates entrepreneurship. And this is where you can work remotely from wherever you are. I mentioned about the film hubs. I mentioned about the mobile competitions. All this, you don't need to be in Nairobi to do this. You just need to connect. And we connect you with the right stakeholders. We work a lot with, for instance, Kenya Copyright Board. We work with the Communications Authority to get you copyright, to get you distribution across the counties, across the country. So we mentioned earlier, just visit us on our table. We give you the contacts. We said we don't have satellite offices, but we are available to give you response actually in 24 hours. If you write to info@filmingkenya.com, you get your response in 24 hours. Thank you.
Post Bank, have a minute. Contact.
Thank you, Madam. We have 3 questions, but before I answer the questions, I want to recognize the presence of our chairman, Mr. Antoros Bahari Olesenteu, karibu sana. And the questions that I have here is about withdrawals. And the young man was asking, when he has saved money, up to any amount of money, is he able to withdraw? And how much is he allowed to withdraw at any given time? We don't have a limit. Whatever you want to withdraw, so long as you visit our branch, you can go and withdraw from there, any amount you have in the account. That answers the question of the limitations of withdrawal. Number 2 is the question of deceased cases, where you have somebody who has saved money with Postbank, and then that person passes on. What is the procedure? I say this is a government institution, so when you have somebody, you've lost somebody and he has an account in Postbank, you visit the DC's office or the public trustee office, and they will definitely guide you. We work with them, and the beneficiaries will be paid. The last question is about you are very far away from the branch, and you are not able to visit the branch to withdraw. How are you going to withdraw? We have 3 ways of withdrawing money. You can do it through mobile. You register with mobile when you are opening the account, so you can withdraw money from your mobile at the comfort of your house. The other thing is you can withdraw money through Mashinani agents. We have Mashinani agents all over. And then you can also withdraw money from the branch. And you can also withdraw money through ATM. Any Visa branded ATM, you can withdraw money from there. We are very much digitalized. And you can also follow us on Facebook and also on Twitter. We also have a branch here in Narok, just next to Kenya Women. You can visit us, and the contacts are here. The branch contact is 07702 131 06, 07702 131 06, and the branch manager's contacts is called Leonard. You can see the young old man there who is waving. That is our branch manager, Narok branch. Is called Leonard Koech. 0721 829 730 0721829730. You can visit our tent also for more questions and answers. Thank you so much.
Let's have a contact for KIOP as we come to the end of this first panel discussion, and I'll hand over the microphone to the MC and the RC.
Okay, for the Kenya Youth Employment and Opportunities Project, and that is KIOP. Of course, it's under the State Department for Youth Affairs, as I stated. And our presence is within the regional coordinator's office, but closer still at the County Director Youth Development Office here at the County Commissioner's Office. And his name is Joas Ratemo, and his number is 0725 847017. And let me repeat his number because as a State Department for Youth Affairs, you can get all the answers pertaining to youth issues because they also address, in case you even lost a contact of any of our panelists here, you can actually just get the response from our youth development officers who actually called you or SMS'd you to come even for this meeting. Therefore, at least you have a starting point from the youth development officer. So I repeat again, for the county youth development officer, who will connect you to the sub-county youth development officer is 0725 847017, and that is Joash Ratemo. Thank you.
Asanteni sana for listening. And now hand over the mic to the MC.
Asanteni sana. Naomba tupigie makofi. The panelists are free to take their seats. Thank you for your time and for the information you've just shared. We advise kama kuna kitu nataka kuuliza, kuna kitu hujapata vizuri, unaweza tu upata kwa various exhibition tents. I believe na tuangalia wote wako na representative from each and every so unaweza kufikia uangalie. Then kama gari yako ni KCN 697K, tafadhali umeweka, unaweza tutoa. Thank you. Nataka tufanye a recap kidogo. Naona sasa tumekaa wengine wetu karibu walale. So nataka tu flex kidogo. Si ndio? Nataka tuangalie, tunegiwe viuno kidogo. So DJ, nipe tabia za wakati kidogo.
Karibu Kanairo, karibu Kenya, kujani kushova koza wa Kenya, tuna talanta ya kucheki weather. Iyo jua ni ya mvua na ni kali, niko sure. Ukiwa kijani usikie umeboeka, ukiona memes unaanza kucheka. Hiyo ni Kenya. Bati yako mbaya ukichoma picha, utapewa hashtag hapo Twitter, utatrend. Customer Kenya ndusema asanti, na ni yeye amelipa, naseme asanti badala ya muuzaji. Karibu Kenya.
Haya.
Tuna tabia zetu.
Tukifanya tabia zetu tunaweza tusimama kidogo, flex kidogo. Unajua pia
tuna bang. Mamorio mabaze.
Kidogo.
Lugha ya taifa ni sheng.
Ati nini? Kama tusimame kidogo tu. Let's flex a little bit.
Mamorio mabaze.
Thank you DJ. Thanks. At this juncture, ningependa kukaribisha katibu wa mkoa atuelekeze zaidi what next and what we should do.
So thank you very much. Our CAS, our PS, all protocols observed. I want to welcome you to Narok County and to South Rift region. We want to thank all of you for and grazing occasion. We want to move on with the program very fast. We are aware that we are through with the first panel discussion that has taken some time. We want to go into the second panel discussion, which will be moderated by our co-MC this morning. We want to grow talent, Madam CAS, so we want one of our young people to come and moderate. The next panelist, kindly be ready to join the seats with Musea, Young Africans, Nita, FAO, NYS. Yes. Sorry. So I'm being informed that some of the panelists who are in the second panel or the second panel discussion have already been involved in the first one. So we shall have the next team who have not shared. So kindly let me again call this Musea, Young Africa, Works, NITA, FAO, NYS, cooperatives, MOA, AFC, and the county government. Kindly join so that we can engage youth. Karibu. Well,
Thank you. The panelists, nimesikia katibu wa mkoa kama kutaja, tujaribu kufanya upesi kidogo, nitashukuru. Vile the youths be very brief questions. The panelists pia be very brief, 2 minutes. Tell us about the organization. Probably the organization, what they do, and the impact it has to the youth before probably we proceed. Mike kidogo. Are we still waiting for the panelists? Katibu mkoa alitaja Young African Works, NITA, FAO, NYS, Cooperative, MOA, FC, and the county government. Tafadhali kama umesikia tu unaweza fanya upesi tupate kuendelea. Kama wako tunaweza endelea tu kidogo. That's okay. So Mike. The CC for the youth, Narok County Government. If you are here, you can join us. Thank you. I think we done. She hasn't yet arrived.
Let's have the representative of KIKAO who has just come in to join the panel. Musea by public demand. Come over.
Mamorio mabazeng, lugha ya taifa ni sheng. Karibu Kenya, tuna madem peng.
One will be very brief. I can see now our panelists are here. So maybe we can start from my right side. You can tell us about the organization, the impact they have to the youth, before probably proceed to the question place. So karibuni.
Thank you, moderator. Ms. Jacqueline Mac from the Youth Service, Common NYS. I'm here representing the Director General, Madam Matilda Sakwa. And briefly, I will just say what NYS does. I'm sure most of us are aware. Now, NYS, first of all, is a state agency. It is, an agency within the Department for Service. Its main focus is youth empowerment. And since we are here for powered by Vision 2030, allow me also to mention that the NYS Transformation Program is a flagship in the medium-term plan 3 of the Vision 2030. And under that project, NYS is expected to reach over 10,000 youth from every about that. We recruit from each and every sub-county in this country. Currently, as we speak, starting yesterday, we are in every sub-county in this country recruiting youth into NYS. Now, once we recruit, the youth are expected to go through a 3-stage program. And the program is sequential, meaning you have to start from the first until exit. So we start with the paramilitary training that is undertaken in Gilgil and Naivasha campuses. That is our paramilitary academy. And then you go for national service. You've seen our servicemen in uniform at the airport until COVID came. We had them at the airport. We had them in the other ministry agencies. I'm happy that our key partner, FAO, is here. We've partnered with FAO to address issues of locusts. NYS was on the forefront. We have rehabilitated the railway line from Nairobi to Kisumu. We are on it right now. We completed the one for Nanyuki from Thika and many other such projects. We are actually supervising Kazi Mtaani. NYS provides supervisory services and so many others. Now, once the youth go through that, the next stage is we take them for technical and vocational training. NYS has 17 TVET schools. And currently, because of the numbers that we have, we partner with the TVET, the TVETA, Ministry of Education, to have our youth in those schools. Like here in Masai Mara, we have Masai Mara, I think technical college. Technical, yeah. We have so many of our servicemen in Masai Mara. Now, we realized that in the transformation program, once the youth go through those 3 stages, we let them go out and we don't make a follow-up. So we have introduced another program, which is the youth placement. And youth placement endeavors to place youth in jobs. And towards that end, we have developed a tracking system for servicemen, which was launched during our pass-out parade recently at Gilgil by the IS. You can actually log in the system, you update your details, you tell us where you are, the skills that you have, which already, of course, we have, and we link you to employers. The employers are both in government and the private sector, and we are looking towards working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to get job opportunities outside the country. And apart from that, we are also exploring possibilities of engaging youth in entrepreneurship, and so through our training programs, we are looking at agripreneurs. NYS has huge tracts of land, and one of our major contributors to the Big Four agenda is through agriculture. So we are using that to train the youth that we already have in our institution to get those skills and to be able to to practice once they get out. So that is one of the areas we are trying to focus on. Another area we are focusing on is on talent development. So I can see the moderator is telling me that my time is out. So we have our officers right at our desk there. There is one of the youth who has gone through the program through to the end, and he was engaged by Huduma Kenya through the linkage of NYS, and is actually here at the Huduma Kenya in Narok. they can give you the testimony and give you other information that you may require. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Go next. Let's be a little bit brief so that we can probably save time for the question and answer.
Okay, sure. I'll be as brief as I can. Good morning, Bardi Mechana, everyone. My name is Ian Warrender. I'm with an organization called Colleges and Institutes Canada. We're based in the nation's capital of Ottawa, Ontario. I'm the in-country representative for our organization, and I'm working on the Young Africa Works Kenya TVET program. This is a program focused on capacity TVET institutions throughout your country such that they can build and deliver relevant TVET-based programs. At the very core of these programs is youth employability. We've recently undergone a very thorough, very comprehensive labor market analysis where we've found the particular sectors and subsectors that will offer the most employability. Those sectors are the ones that we're pursuing with respect to courses in these institutions. So in addition to building capacity in the institutions with respect to relevant industry-led employable kind of programs, we're also working very closely with the Kenya National Qualifications Authority on the recognition of prior learning initiative that maybe many have heard of that. It's an opportunity to recognize a person's prior skills, what they bring to the table, such that they can get credentialed and get into employment and get some recognition for what they've done. We're also working very much with CDAC on curriculum, filling gaps where we need curriculum in the country. As well, we're focused on career pathways. We have a career counseling and development program. We're also developing in-service and pre-service teaching at Kenya Technical Trainers College. It's a very comprehensive, very thorough program. We have 25 Kenyan institutions as hub institutions as part of this program, plus another 75. So our reach is over 100 institutions throughout the beautiful country of Kenya, and we're working to make a difference for you, for the youth, to get you jobs and increase your quality of life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Well, we can be brief, like the African works. I think we can probably tend to save time.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Joseph Katamu. I'm here representing the National Project Coordinator of the Kenya Youth Employment and Opportunities Project, KIOP. Now, KIOP is a government project that is implemented across several countries with the sole aim of increasing earning and employment opportunities among the targeted youth. Now, you realize that the issue of employment has been a perennial problem, not just in Kenya, but across the board, even in Africa and even the whole world. So this is an intervention by government to ensure that our youth actually access opportunities to employment so that they can be empowered and, of course, have their own independent livelihoods. Now, KIOP is a project that is coordinated and domiciled in the State Department for Youth, which is in the Ministry of Innovation, Youth, and Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs. And we do the coordination, but the project is implemented by 4 other government agencies. We have NITA, which implements one of the components of the project, which we call the youth employer, rather improving, rather about the training and internship. We also have MUSEA, which also implements a component of the project that is improving youth employability. We also have State Department for Labor, which deals with labor information. We realize that some of our youth may also miss opportunities because they lack information, and therefore State Department for Labor creates content, continuous content on labor information. And the State Department for Youth Affairs also does the 4th component, which deals with improving the youth policy, or rather development of the national youth policy. So in brief, that is the project that we deal with at KIKAO. Maybe later on I'll be guided by the questions that you may answer. Thank you very much.
Very true. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My colleague was here earlier, but I will introduce myself. I'm Evelyn Chemutai, representing the Director General of Micro and Small Enterprises Authority, which is MSEA. We are under the Ministry of Industrialization, Trade and Enterprise Development. And our mandate is basically promotion, development, and regulation of the micro and small enterprises sector, which is where majority of the youth businesses fall. Our mandate cuts across the development of infrastructure to support the MSCs, facilitate market access by the MSCs, business trainings and business coaching. And we are also, like the person who just spoke before me said, we are implementing component 2 of the KIKAO project, which is support for job creation, where so far we have given grants to a tune of over 1 billion and trained youth on business development services, about 49,000 youth. And recently in the business plan competition, that is the Mbele na Biz, we have 4 youth who applied and were lucky to benefit from Narok. We got 4 youth from Narok who applied and were selected, and they were awarded up to a tune of 11.7 million. Thank you.
Thank you. Remember we are talking about, maybe you can just, a quick recap on what our panelists will probably key in and emphasize much matters. Talking about youth skills in agriculture. Means probably for the youth, Narok being an agricultural land, and it's a matter of bettering the skills among the youth. This is where you really need to come in and listen keenly. What are the opportunities available? What are the panelists likely to talk about regarding the skills and probably the agriculture? So I'll do a quick, probably 1 or 2, 3 questions to the panelists before we proceed to largely the audience. So the first question goes to the African works. And probably maybe the mic you can, next to the African works. Say, what is your organization doing to enhance skills for job to improve probably youth employability in a wider perspectives? If from the organization point of view, what exactly are you putting in place to ensure that youths can secure employability, or probably the skills are driven to another level?
That's a very good question. Yeah, again, my name's Ian Warrender. I'm with College Institutes Canada, Young Africa Works Kenya project. I think what we have to look at, that there's youth and then there's the skills gap. What is in between? And it's the TVET institutions. So our driving impetus, if you will, is to work with the institutions to create relevant industry in demand jobs and bring the skills from industry as articulated by industry, embed those same competencies directly into the curriculum and complement it with modern equipment. So we're looking very much at that middle point. So a tremendous resource of young people eager to get to work, potential employment in, for instance, agriculture. What's in between? Let's create that. Let's address that skills gap by building capacity in the TVET institutions to bridge those young people into employment. Thank you.
And majorly, before probably you give out the mic, in a bit to reduce the gap or make sure the gap is not there between the skills and employability, have you rolled out an activity probably to the entire counties in the country, or it's a centralized way whereby you have to visit a certain place for you to be probably taught or trained in a way to acquire such skills?
So we have a very aggressive industry linkage strategy, and that is where we're contacting, and we're in contact with many of the big employers throughout Kenya. Kenya Association of Manufacturers, this is our largest a single private employer as an industry liaison. So we're creating what's called industry advisory committees throughout all the institutions. So the 100 institutions that we're working with, we're driving to create an industry advisory committees in all of those. That gets industries competencies directly into the institutions, and those are the skills that we impart to. As a side, we're also we hosted a youth forum online virtually last year. We're hosting another youth forum June 29th at KTTC, and we'll also be streaming that live YouTube as well. So just a little bit of a plug for another upcoming outreach towards youth initiative on our behalf. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I think the youth of heart, probably you need to get in touch, make sure you participate in the online programs. At the same time, because you'll get to know what will be done and what you need to do. So we can give to probably the NYS with a question. With the question for the NYS, the government has established numerous institutions and initiatives to enhance youth skills for job. However, there is still a gap between skills and employability. What does it need to be done to address this from your own perspective?
Thank you very much once again. Like we said, the issue of skills needs to be addressed from, in my opinion, from a TVET perspective. And TVET here means putting in place the necessary mechanisms in the TVET institutions to be able to enhance, because from my understanding, TVET is practical, it is technical. And you will go to some of the TVET institutions and you will find most of what is done probably is theory in most cases. So we need to enhance, for example, the issues of machinery. We need to enhance technology transfer. We need to leverage on research. And most important, I think we need to leverage on ICT. A good example is agriculture. Like I was telling you, NYS, we are trying to put in place in our School of Agriculture in Yatta. We have a School of Agriculture in Yatta. And we are trying to find a way of having youth who have undergone the agricultural training to like agriculture, because we realize that there are so many jobs in agriculture, actually, that youth can be able to engage in. And so, as we nurture the training, through training, skills development at our school, it is practically leverage, bring in ICT and issues of technology transfer so that the youth can be able to love agriculture and actually practice it when they go back after the training program. And they can still partner back with NYS and any other government institution to be able to ensure that they engage more youth in the jobs or in the areas where they are coming in. So for me, it is ICT, leveraging on ICT, leveraging on research, and leveraging on technology transfer from especially key partners. Thank you.
You talked about lockers, and we understand that lockers is largely a pandemic that occurred recently probably in our country. And as much as we leverage and tend to make sure that we intermarry different technological skills to ensure that the youth the larger population can be able probably to curb or to ensure we can overcome pandemics. So besides any other, the NYS point of view, we understand that it's the National Youth Service. Are you trying to put in some other better ways to ensure that we roll out programs probably to educate all the youth across the country on how they can be able to have better approaches probably to ensure that they are not suffering from any other pandemic?
Thank you very much. That's a good question. Now, NYS, first of all, works with institutionalized youth, meaning as we are recruiting currently, we take them to our system and we work with them. So apart from the youth empowerment project, which we undertook between the year 2014, I think, 2017, we don't have interactions with the youth who are not institutionalized in NYS. However, within our own youth, we have a unit called the Disaster and Emergency Response.
Thank you. I hope you had my initial point. I was talking about how youth can be involved in the Big Four agenda. And under the food security, like I had said earlier, youth are shy to go into agriculture for various reasons. One is limited access to markets, where you find the youth has grown their crops and they are not able to access the market for one reason or another. And therefore, it kills their morale, because we all know youth are not very patient, and therefore they want to plant their crop and get to the market and get the money. So what can be done is to ensure that agricultural products get to the market on time, by ensuring that there are good road networks, by ensuring that they are properly trained on good agricultural practices. And secondly, is to enhance the value addition component in the agribusiness sector so that we reduce post-harvest losses, so that youth do not have to incur losses because they cannot sell their crop and therefore they have to do away with it. But if we enhance value addition, we will ensure that even in any given season we have excess production, that production will not go into waste, but it will be value added and even sold in the next season. And therefore this will ensure that the youth feel comfortable going into the agriculture sector. Under the manufacturing sector, there's a lot that is happening in what we are calling the Juakali sector, which is in all essence the manufacturing sector. And the youth can be involved. We, as an authority, we are currently renovating and building what we are calling constituency industrial development centers, where youth or any person in the MSC sector, specifically in the manufacturing sector, can go in there and do their work and try out as an incubation center and try their technologies to ensure that it can go into the market and succeed. We are even donating machines into these centers so that we reduce the cost of production for these manufacturers, because when they have a common user machine, they need to only come into the center.
Give you a minute, maybe I can just interrupt you. There's maybe our guests are leaving for a 2 or 10 minutes brief session, so we can stand in respect of our guests. Once they leave the place, probably we can resume the panelists. Forgive for that interruption. We can always remain standing kindly, respect to our guests. Thank you. I guess we can continue. Please remain seated. Thank you. Sorry for that interruption.
Like I was saying, as an authority, we are trying to support youth in the manufacturing sector by donating modern machines into what I was calling the constituency industrial development centers, where these machines will reduce their cost of production because they will only pay, it is a subsidized, they will pay a small fee to use the machines because it is already subsidized. Under affordable housing, I'm sure youth are aware that the government is rolling out the affordable housing project. And the government can ensure that youth participate in this by ensuring that the youth get their quota, 30% procurement for all the supplies within the affordable housing project. This will ensure that the youth participate fully under the Big Four agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. That was quite informative. I believe you had more from Madam Evelyn. She has explained in details, and probably I think it's not really good to ask any further question. Maybe before we give to Kyop, the African Works is probably leaving for the media session as well. So we can have a QA for specifically for the African Works. Any question from the directed to the African Works? Any other question probably we can save. The panelists will be here. Once the Q-op will be done, we'll open up the forum. For now, any question from the audience regarded to the African Works, probably you can lift up your so that you can see we can allow him to join the team. And let's be very brief. Since I can't see on lifting their hands, probably they don't have the questions directed to the African Works. So thank you for your time and for probably explaining us further about the African Works. We'll get in touch probably within the session that is over to get to know more. So thank you. You're welcome. So as we proceed to the CUP, be a question probably referred to Bwana Joseph. Talked about what are some of the major challenges that Kenyan youths face when undertaking their studies in the colleges. Government of Kenya has put in place some of the remedies to address such challenges as stated probably in the Constitution, as 6A. So you can probably expound further about the challenges that are faced as a youth from your own point of view. How can you advise the youth on what are the likely challenges that you've encountered from the youth point of view? Mike, kindly. To the CUP, Joseph, kindly.
Okay, thank you very much, moderator. This question is not directly related to KIKAO, but I know there are some some challenges that our youth face while in college. Some of them are social, some of them are more of lack of guidance. But I want to say that in many cases, when the youth are in colleges, they tend to really get influenced by their peers to an extent that they lose track on exactly what took them to college. And that is why some of them end up, engaging in, drug abuse, engaging in other socially unacceptable behavior. So that is one of the main challenges. Another challenge here is that in terms of career progression, you realize that some of our youth in colleges actually do not understand how their career will begin and how it will progress. Because at the college, that is just the beginning of what you intend to grow your career into. And some of our youth in college just study for the sake of it. But it is good for them to understand that there are some trends that they need to observe so that they know which career gives them more opportunities in terms of employment, also in terms of earning a livelihood in future. And you realize that nowadays, the youth do not really focus more on the issue of market. When you are studying in the college or in college, it's good to also know what is happening in the market so that whatever you are studying is relevant not only to you, but also relevant to the needs of the market. And that is one of the challenges that I realize most of our youth do face.
Sure.
And I can say that college, let's say today, it is good to learn in college, but it is also good to understand that when you leave college, you should be ready to unlearn some of the things that you learned in college and relearn new ones. And in some cases, so that you can be relevant over time. That is what happens today. And it is good to know that whatever you learned in college, in some cases may not be directly relevant to what you will be doing in the field. So that is why it is important to understand that college is only, rather provides you with the basic knowledge so that in future you can grow that knowledge and learn what is unnecessary and relearn new things. That is what I think, in my view, are some of the things that our youth in college do face. They also suffer what I can say identity crisis. Some of them really do not understand themselves, I can say, to an extent that whatever they find on the way, they pick it, and at the end of it all, they become a bit confused to that extent that they may not really survive when they join the society finally. So I think in my view, those are some of the challenges.
Oh, that is a very good approach actually, because you tend to realize that a number of youths tend to override or ignore some important perspectives that are relevant and that needs to be taken care of from the young stage. So this session, I think it's open for the QA. Opening point of view, they talked about what they do, what are the likely opportunities available for the youth, and any other relevant question that might not have been covered for the panelists. roughly 5 minutes, and we will be done. So you can lift up your hand, maybe it's a lady, and make sure when you
My name is Elizabeth Akire. I come from Narok East. I'm working for the home care department. My question goes to Mr. Joseph. I heard you said about NITA, National Training Authority. So my question is, there are youths who go to these outside countries after they have been trained by NITA for maybe for 1 month. They go for outside countries like Iraq, Saudi Arabia. And at times they are really mistreated, they are frustrated when they go to those countries. So my question is, what is the government doing? Who are going what is the government doing to make sure at least they go there for 2 years contract and they come back to their families safe and sound? Thank you.
we can first ask all the questions, and then once all the questions are asked, that's when we can give the panelists to do a wrap as per the specific questions asked to them. Maybe for the gap question, just ask by Parkire for the NITA. Let's not repeat a question that has been asked by someone else. The gentleman.
Habari yenu. Niko na swali ningependa niulize. I don't know exactly whether he's the right person to answer, but if he's not, then he must know somebody to answer it. Like 10 years ago, this is a case study. I came out of college. Nilisaidiwa na serikali, nikalipiwa loan ya help. Then coming out, I've tried so much as I can kutafuta kazi ya serikali na sijapata. But what's happening behind the curtains ni kwamba serikali inanipatia ina penalize the principal amount ambao walinisaidia kusoma nayo. Nikiangalia it has gone to an extent ya kwamba nimekufa moyo ya kwamba hata nikiajiriwa kitambo nikufe, huenda nitakufa na deni ya serikali.
Joseph, you can handle that question.
Okay, I want to sijamaliza.
This is very brief.
Ningependa tu kuuliza ya kwamba tena nikienda kutafuta loan, the same government has taken me to CRB. Kumaanisha kwamba they have sealed all the opportunities ambazo ningetumia nipate hata loan ya kufanya kazi ingine tofauti so that I can repay the other one. So what is the government doing, because I'm not alone, to help us so that even we can get a job, itusaidie kulipa hizi loans? Thanks you.
Thank you. You can handle both your questions, specifically one question that is a little bit direct. Any other question? Maybe this far end, where I'm facing the tent. You can see a hand over there. Please come in front so that we can give you mic easily.
Hello. My question goes to, I guess, African Works. The question is...
African Works has left, kindly. We called for the question when he was still here.
The youth or to lure them to the agricultural sector. One last question. maybe a lady this time. Just make sure that probably we observe gender rule. A lady? Thank you. If we don't have any further question, believe we can come back to the mic to the panelists. Can you to Joseph?
NITA is one of the government agencies that is implementing KIKAO, and it is doing this through skills training and in terms of trainings in various trade areas, and also through some apprenticeship model of training. So I can say that once you acquire these skills, now opportunities are open to you. You can be employed, you can employ yourself. And one of the ways of course, getting this employment is looking outside the country, where the opportunities are and where the skills that you have acquired also are relevant. Now, in this case, if you happen to have a chance to travel outside the country for employment, maybe you are going to Saudi Arabia, you are going to Lebanon, and all those other countries. Of course, I know the government, I may not be very competent in this, but I know the government has come up with a labor export policy, which of course ensures that before you travel outside the country, there are channels that you need to ensure that you go through. It's good to visit the Ministry of, the offices of the State Department for Labor so that you are guided appropriately. Otherwise, if you go through some of the agents, some of those agents are not known, some of them are not trustworthy, and you may end up in wrong hands. And that is why you find most Kenyans who land in those countries find themselves also in wrong hands, where they are mistreated and treated like slaves. That is not what the government intends to treat its citizens. So I just want to encourage all the youth who want to work outside the country. Of course, the government will not close doors for you when you get an opportunity to work outside the country. The same countries that you've had people going through some suffering are the very, very same countries where you get Kenyans talking of successes. So why is it that you go to the same country, somebody comes with a story of slavery and mistreatment, another one comes with a very positive story of success? It is because of the channels that you use. So I just want to encourage you to visit the nearest labor office and you will be guided appropriately. At least that is as far as that question is concerned.
Maybe we can give Madam Evelyn to approach the second question regarding probably the loans, the CRBs.
Okay.
I understand she's coming from the business point of view, and maybe you can tell us, are there some mitigation measures the government is putting in place to ensure that such things are well attended to, or is there a plan in place that to ensure that the youths will not probably suffer that burden in future?
Thank you for that question, but I think my colleague Joseph was ready to answer. However, I will attempt to answer. I think we all know as youth the reasons why you get listed in CRB. And being listed in CRB is not, okay, all of us are in CRB, either positively or negatively. So I am sure the person who was asking this particular question is in regards to negative listing. And the reason why CRB was introduced in the first place is so that we make credit affordable in this country, so that lenders are able to be comfortable when they look at your classification. They know that you have a good credit history or you have a bad credit history, and therefore they can lend to you comfortably even if you don't have adequate security. And on to the question of help. I think we as youth probably we have suffered because there are many youth out there who have work and have chosen not to pay help, unfortunately. And therefore, we are majority or a small number who genuinely do not have work, are suffering because of the majority who have work or even are doing business and have chosen not to pay. What I would encourage is, even if you have a small business, please pay up your help loan, hata kama ni pesa kidogo, because you paying the loan means your sibling who's coming behind you can get the loan. It means your children in future will be able to get the loan, because if we don't pay as a youth right now, it means in future probably help will be closed and we will not be able to continue lending for the university education.
True. Thank you. Maybe as we give to Madam Jacqueline, maybe I can rephrase the question that was asked earlier. And once you approach the question a brief way, make sure you give us your last shot. Same time, go to Joseph, last shot. Same time to Evelyn in that order. As you give us your last shot, make sure you give us your contacts, probably for the benefit of the audience. So the first question was asked about probably the plan or the strategy that the government has put in place. And what are the impact? Has it really caused a positive impact, or to which extent has it benefited the youth? Or which are probably the incentives available that can allow the youth to come into the agricultural sector? So as you approach the question, make sure you approach the question and give us your last shot, and probably we can get you probably through emails and your social handles, or let's say the phone number, or where we can probably get you from the audience point of view.
Thank you so much, moderator, once again. The question on agriculture not being attractive to the youth and the incentives that the government is trying to put in place to entice youth to join agriculture. I would want to approach it differently and ask ourselves as youth, every day you have to eat. Every day you at least have to eat. So the question therefore is, where is the food coming from? And the next question then I would also ask, and I would encourage our youth to take up, is that the same youth are recognizing the fact that there are jobs, actually massive jobs in agriculture. What are we doing? Okay, I'm not youth, but what are you doing yourselves to be able to get into that sector? One thing I will say is that the government, through the Ministry of ICT, is trying to leverage so much, like I mentioned earlier, on ICT. And probably what we need to explore is how do we therefore bring in the elements of ICT to make, because youth and ICT are like one, and they speak so much to one another. So to make it attractive, I will think about that. And to address some of the things that my colleague in Msea talked about, what can we do about it? So the government having put in place the Ministry of ICT in the first place, and the ministry is exploring all possibilities of how to approach that. I will take back the same question to the youth. We are aware that agriculture has massive opportunities to create jobs. What are we doing ourselves? Can we explore that and take advantage of the government opportunities that are available? All the infrastructure that has been put in place, from the soft to the hard, and take advantage of agriculture and work and run with it. Actually, agriculture is the future of jobs on this continent. Thank you. And just to wrap up, I will say that, like I said, NYS is this week, the whole of this week, starting yesterday up to Friday this week, we are recruiting youth from the age of 18 to 24 to join our program. We are in every sub-county right now as we speak. There must be one of the sub-counties in Narok where our team is recruiting. Kindly inform your youth out there. And if you're here and you really want to join, please come and be part of us. You will be able to benefit so much. Like I said, we have a desk. There are 2 officers there. They will help you to answer any other question you may have. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's appreciate her for that was the last time she's probably taking as a panelist. You to Joseph.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, let me start by offering a word of advice to the gentleman who talked about almost losing hope because of help. Let me just let you know that the richest people in this country are heavily indebted, and they're not crying. They're not thinking of dying very soon. So please don't think about.
I'm told your voice is not that. So make sure it's.
Oh, okay. Yes. All right. So what I'm saying here is that don't lose hope. There are so many opportunities out there. And in terms of having a debt, there is no crime in somebody having any debt. All of us here could be having a debt, one or the other. And therefore, there are so many other opportunities out there. So do not lose hope. There are many, many opportunities that are given through government agencies. If you can visit all our offices within the State Department for you, the NYS and all that, you'll be given those opportunities. Otherwise, please think positively. Do not have that negative energy. Come to food security and how to make farming attractive. Well, it is said that in Kenya, the average age of a Kenyan farmer now is 62 years. Now, how many Kenyans are aged 62 years and above? They're actually fewer. How many Kenyans eat more food? Is it those below 62 or those above 62? The answer is very clear, those below 62. That means the youth need more food than even the older ones. And in this case, who is supposed to produce more food? It is actually the youth who is supposed to produce the youth, because they are more creative, very innovative, very energetic, and they still have a future to live. And therefore, for this farming to be attractive to the youth, this is what I think. Well, first of all, let us find out what is it that is making farming unattractive to the youth. Is it because of the perception that farming is dirty work? Is it because the returns are low? Now, if you find an answer to that question, then it becomes easy to approach this. But let me say that if you can leverage on technology, as has been said, farming becomes very easy. And returns on farming, remember, for you to eat good food, it must come from the farm. But if we now invest in junk food, of course, you know what that spells to our health. And as the population grows and our arable farms become smaller, remember the cost of food will rise exponentially in the coming years. So actually that is where business will be. What you need to do in farming here is do it as a business. Don't do it for the sake of doing it. Do it as a business and you'll get the returns that you aspire to. And remember, those who have ventured into agribusiness are even making more money than those who are employed. And I think we just need to leverage on technology, take farming as a business, and we approach it from that entrepreneurial point of view. And our youth will be able to get returns. And once you get those good returns, there is when you bank money from whichever source, if it is from farming, from your salary or whatever, there is no difference. Actually, when it is in the bank, nobody can say this money came from from farming. This one is just sweet money. So I think that is it that I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Joseph. Maybe Evelyn, brief.
Thank you very much. I think a lot has been said on the matters making agriculture attractive to the youth. All I can add is you don't have to do agriculture the same way our parents, our grandparents were doing. Make use of the internet. And we thank the government because nowadays I think there is an internet across the country. You can learn agriculture from wherever you are. You can learn what you need to farm. You can learn what the market wants. Let us take advantage of that. And all I can say is we have to be proactive as youth. You have to have personal initiative. The government can do everything. Ensure there is good road network. Ensure there is internet. Ensure probably there is irrigation, ensure all sorts of things. But the government cannot ensure that you do it, because even if we brought an irrigation kit to your home, we will not be there to ensure that you use it. So what is probably ailing us is personal initiative. So as youth, get into the agriculture sector, there is money, but you have to do it differently, and you have to put in effort, and you have to have your own personal initiative. So in regards to micro and small enterprises on how to take advantage of online marketing. We will be training MSCs on how to use the internet to market, and even how to do online work. So maybe once the program is rolled out, please register. My colleague who was here earlier is the one who is in charge of Narok, and therefore, if you need any information, you can go to our desk there. And his number is 0728 812 658. So if you need more information, you can always leave your information at the desk. So once the program is rolled out, we will ensure to contact you, because that is one program that will ensure that you're able to take advantage of the internet that the government has ensured is everywhere across the country to do business. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that was your panelists, the MSEA, African Works, KIKAO, the NY. We had much more from them. And it's now, the burden is now in us probably to ensure that we take advantage of the opportunities and probably make use of them. So let's appreciate our panelists as they leave the stage, and we interact further. Make sure you visit the tents and get to know from them. So, Linda Arts, naambiwa mlikuwa na msanii. And tunatuchangamke kidogo tu to make sure that at least we are lively. And cafes. So, taka one song, kidogo, tupanjuke tu kidogo for less than 2 minutes. From there, I'll guide us on how to go. Linda Arts, naambiwa mko na wasanii wawili, msanii mmoja kindly. Na be fast. DJ. Changamka kidogo as you wait for him. And as our guests are sitting, men standing, guests till they sit as well, they probably sit. But the guests are entering in, please, let's stand for the guests. Once they're seated, we can also stand. So remain standing kindly. Thank you. We can almost sit down. Very brief, less than 2 minutes. We're done.
We are my youth man. Air.
Yo, Psycho Gang, Jackie,
Bogi saa.
Psycho,
Wapitishana masaa.
Gang, wale wa.
Saa, twende. Adi.
Pita na masaa, we pita na masaa. Ukileta zogo tokuwacha kwa mataa. Pita na masaa, we pita na masaa. Ukileta zogo tokuwacha kwa mataa. Pita na masaa, we pita na masaa.
hapa timekeeper, kuna vile nimekuja tu kuchachisha. Mr. Mbui kama wediva, wengi wao uniita miticha. Mimi ni msing tena tena wa manip na kupiga kitech, unabaki umetuof. Teke teke kama ndizi ya
DJ. Niaje kuboeka. Mumeka hiyo masaa yote, si msimame at least mjiri. Ama ni aje? Msimame kiasi tujirefresh hivi 1 2 1 2 tukiperform hapa. Tusimame tusimame tubambike pamoja. DJ pull up.
Yo. Psycho gang. Jackie. Psycho. Gang. Wale wow. Good reason.
Pita na masaa, we pita na masaa. Ukileta zogo takuwacha kwa mataa. Pita na masaa, we pita na masaa. Ukileta zogo takuwacha kwa mataa. Pita na masaa, we pita na masaa. Ukileta zogo takuwacha kwa mataa. We pita na masaa, we pita na masaa. Ukileta zogo takuwacha kwa mataa. Leo mimi hapa timekeeper, kuna vile nimekuja tu kuchachisha. Mr. Mbui kama we diva, wengi wao uniita miticha. Mimi ni msik tena wangani na kupiga kitech, unabaki umedwov. Teke kama nduzi ya pizza unapata we. Ulitoka unawasha kishada na seti kiwada na chana kijaba na midi kirasta. Miukula hadi zile keki za Osama Kangeska kijipa mironza na kukala. Pita na masaa, we pita na masaa. Ukileta zogo takuwacha kwa mataa. Pita na masaa, we pita na masaa. Ukileta zogo takuwacha kwa mataa. Pita na masaa, we pita na masaa. Ukileta zogo takuwacha kwa mataa. We pita na masaa, we pita na masaa. Ukileta zogo takuwacha kwa mataa.
Chezea denge yani chezea mbele, ako fiti yani ako na nyige cheki. Teni sato ako na maparo, ukisha kwa hao rombo sadi dao na cheki umembao, shukisha kwa grao. Chezea futada kalifao, kakasa kibedi alafu ndo ni seti, alafu ndo ni medi nikakana mededi. Moro kuna njeve nimechana veve, nimeteka lele ikusi na tupa na misi na pupa. Yuka mechipa kakichara saba na kashika matuta, kakiruta na kapiga manyuta. Zake zikirunda na katamba kaluta, zake zikirunda na katamba kaluta, na katamba kaluta.
Pita na masaa, we pita na masaa. Ukileta zogo takuwacha kwa mataa. Pita na masaa, we pita na masaa. Ukileta zogo takuwacha kwa mataa. Pita na masaa, we pita na masaa. Ukileta zogo takuwacha kwa mataa. We pita na masaa, we pita na masaa. Ukileta zogo takuwacha kwa mataa. Kwa phone niko food niko rena. Pita na masaa, we ndio chora saba nikubenza kikalcha na kam nikuspin nikupeleke na rada. Mastin zimepanda zinadai tumapaja na leo nikubaya utajua misi toto. Pale ocean kinyani kibanshada, leo niko mbaya na kupromise katanuka. Oh my gondo jina utaeka makali nimechapa ndaongeza tukachupa juu sijali masa. Leo ni Aldi Aluta.
Okay, on this.
Minimum on my phone, minimum on my phone. Come taco spin, taco spoil. Come taco spin, come taco spin, taco spoil. Minimum on my phone, minimum on my phone. Come taco spin, taco spoil. Come taco spin, come taco spin, taco spoil. Minimum on my phone.
Let's appreciate the Linda Arts team. At least tumechangamka sana, at least. I didn't know some of us can dance until now. That I've realized that one of the poorest dancers around. So I had to hide behind the tent at least. So on a quick note, we are going to our last panelist. Very brief. And majorly, the panel discussion focuses on youth governance, health, and well-being peace building, safety and security, civic participation, cultural practices. So we all know probably Narok is rich in culture and anything. So the panel will probably discuss in detail what are the key things. Because the session probably aims probably at involving the youth in peace building, positive cultural practices, national cohesion, security, health, and other stakeholders and decision makers, allowing them to participate in policy processes. So I'll take this opportunity to welcome Madam Wairimu Waweru to guide us further and probably welcome the next panelist. Thank you.
MC, usipeane mic kwanza. Ichukue.
Ndio hapa kuna yote tayari eh?
Unajua?
Naam.
Leo hii tuko hapa.
Tumefika.
Ni siku ya vijana, si ndio?
Kweli.
Lakini
Naam.
hapa hivi vile kumekuwa na wimbo hivi kidogo, umeona ni kina nani hapa wamekuja kuchangamsha? Nani amechangamsha mwingine?
Ni kama wa vijana walikuwa wamelala lakini wametoka pia.
Hapana, mimi sijaona hiyo.
Lakini pia wewe ni kijana hujatoka.
Umeona hiyo?
Wewe mwenyewe umetoka?
Mimi nimetoka.
Kama Wairimu alitoka. Kwani mbona?
Mimi nilitoka.
Kwaje sijakuona?
Vijana vijana mnataka kuchangamka kidogo?
Yeah.
Si ndio?
Kabisa.
Mwekewe gani? Mwekewe gani?
Wanasema ya mabazu.
Bazu.
Yeah.
DJ. Bazu. Na unajua madamu wetu anapenda kukatika kidogo. Madamu wetu, Madam Cass. Yes. Penda kuzikwenda. Kwa hivyo akikuja hapa tusimlet down, sawa? Hawa wote wamekuja hapa juu yenu. Wango.
DJ tupe.
Si ndio? Haya, good. Haya, DJ.
Wacha tuone ile mabazu, si ndio?
Ndio hapo sasa. Ndipo hapo. Bazu tumeingoja. Tumeingoja. Lakini tukingojea hapa wale vijana wetu wamekuja wakatudansia hivi kidogo. Wamesema mambo na mko rieng. Mko rieng. Mko rada. Lakini mbona sijaona? Haya, ngoja hiyo ngoma ingie ndio nione. MC, njoo kidogo. Sio hiyo.
Probably is preparing into.
Haya. Tumekuwa hapa kwa masaa mangapi? Vijana? Vijana wenzangu? Tumekuwa hapa kwa masaa mangapi? 2. Haya, mnajua kwa nini tuko hapa? Ati?
Ni kama bado hatujajua.
Bado hamjajua kwa nini tuko hapa?
Naomba tueleze. Naomba tueleze.
Kitu inaitwa Gava Eco Ground.
Ndio mimi nawaona tu wakiwa kwa viti.
Mumesikia hiyo? Mumesikia hiyo? And I hope pia mnachangamka kwa social media kiasi.
Inaona trend number 4 actually.
Naweza kuja leo wajue ni hapa. Cheko sawa.
Ndio tumeshuka kule TZ sasa hivi.
Lazima wachuchume wameingia chakike. Wameingia chakike. Wameingia chakike.
Ati ya wapi ya? Siza wapi wa bongo? Wapi wa kwanza wa bongo?
Makokote, abutale.
unapewa fadhili gani?
unipatie panado kujenga zambiasi na
Aya. Kama mkuu ameamka seuse wewe jamani.
anaweka kwenye gari anachukua anaweka iwe jikonyo varandani anaweka doze anachukua anaweka nikaje salama joto toaleso jipepe oya kongo
Anafanya nini?
toaleso jipepe oya mose kunambi jipepe orikado momo jipepe oya mama dangote jipepe ndo nifungo jipepe chu jipepe chu jipepe chu jipepe
Joseph Mertier Banalobi Kaya Musha
Naona ndio mwanzo anafika hivyo ndio sasa kweli.
Adolphe Mutebachi la Mouila Abangazuma Joseph Koussala Abangazuma Zodoa André Arare Dar es Salaam Ngazuma Akosha Diamond Ngazuma Kinshasa Ngazuma Kaya Fushar Ngazuma Kama Mfwama
usinitachi tusalimiane kwa miguu usinitachi tusalimiane kwa miguu anasema usiniguse usinitachi salamu iwe kwa miguu usinitachi tusalimiane kwa miguu kosa karambali
Kusimbate
kosa kona ugonga
Kusona musika
tena vaa maski
2 metres
mikono ya kokosha
Thank you DJ.
Shamra kelele na nderemo Shamra kelele na nderemo Kisham kinyam kitam Sham kelele na nderemo Kisham kinyam kitam Sham kelele na nderemo
Sherehe ni meja tumekujadi na tamba tulibeba meja yule alifanya bablas mbuzi ndo rende tunarogadi wa kamba ole
aya DJ kata kidogo
tingisha kichwa na kisha kama gedandraf kingfisher na picha
unajua ukienda kwenye unaenda ukijipata huko mahali hapo unanisikia ni vizuri unasalimiana sio kuliko nikuja nianze kuongea hamjui mimi ni nani kweli uongo haya kuna wakati nilikuwa upande wa Kajiado nikaelezwa na mtanieleza kama hii salamu iko sawa niliambiwa kusalimiana unasema enda sova pogen nimepata ama nimekosa and then nyinyi mnasema nini enda sova pogen asante haya saizi naona jua limewaka kidogo lakini naona bado mko mmevaa sweta mmevaa jampa mmeficha ile t-shirt mzuri mmepewa simuitoe kidogo hivi hata ndio uweze kupumua ndio hata picha ikipigwa uonekane umevaa hiyo t-shirt yako maridadi si ndio sawa haya vijana zangu nisikizeni dakika moja tafadhali hii session haitachukua muda sawa lakini pia it's a very very important session okay na ningetaka muconcentrate kidogo musikize vile wenzetu wakubwa wetu hapa watatueleza kuhusu hii session and then from that you can be able to ask questions sawa so kuita wakubwa wetu hapa. Are there some challenges that you people experience? Kama vijana kwa hii area ya Narok, challenges that touch on maybe health? Iko. Mambo na cultural practices? Iko. Mambo na drug use? Iko. Mambo na substance abuse? Iko. Mambo na teenage pregnancies? Iko. Mambo na school dropout? Iko. Mambo na bodaboda syndrome? Iko. Haya, good. Ndio nimewaeleza lazima muwe makini. Sawa? Ndio wakubwa wetu wakikuja hapa tukiuliza maswali watajibu, si ndio? Alafu pia nitawapatia nyinyi pia session muuliza maswali yenu. Sababu nyinyi ndio mnajua mahali kiatu kinafanya nini? Kinafinya, si ndio? Good. So allow me to take this opportunity to invite our panelists. Tuko na representation NTSA. Thank you, madam. Tumpigia makofi jamani. Asante. Representation Nakada. Nakada representation. Haya. Representation NHIF. NCIC. Anti-FGM. Tumpigie mama yetu makofi tu. Thank you, madam. National Youth Council. Representation. Thank you, sir. Tumpigie makofi jamani. Thank you so much. Finally, Horn of Africa. Asante Bwana Momanyi. Tumpigie makofi. Haya. Sasa mimi maswali yangu yatakuwa machache kwenu. Na nitaomba kusimama. Alafu tukishamaliza na round yenye nitakuwa nayo ya maswali, tutafungua panel sasa kwa upande mwingine preliminary, ndio vijana wetu waweze kuuliza maswali. Sawa? So, the first question goes to Madam Loloju. Ni kuhusu mambo na harmful cultural practices. So, how are the youth involved in awareness creation on the effects associated with harmful cultural practices?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Bernadette Loloju. I'm the CEO of the Anti-FGM Board. I'm very happy to be in Narok. This is my home. I've lived here for the last 21 years. And the young people are the most affected by the harmful cultural practices. One of the practices we are talking about here is female genital mutilation. And I'm going to be specific to the Maasai community. According to the Kenya Demographic Health Survey 2014, the Maasai community have been rated at 78%. That means in every 10 girls, 8 are cut. So we only have 2 girls who are not cut, according to that statistic. And we also know that among the Maasai community, when a girl gets cut, then that means they are ready for marriage. And even if they are not ready for marriage, they find themselves feeling like they've grown. They are big girls now. They can involve themselves with sexual activities. And that's why we find them getting pregnant and dropping out of school. If we've looked at the statistics, Narok has very high teenage pregnancy rates. And one of the contributing factors is female genital mutilation. And then another issue is that a girl, after has been cut, according to the parents or the family, then the girl is ready for marriage. So even if you are cut when you're 12 or 10 or 13 or 9, then you are ready for marriage. So you can see the correlation between FGM, child marriage, teenage pregnancies, and school dropouts. And so the young people are the most affected by FGM. So we have the young people in school. Those are the ones that are in primary school, secondary school, and higher institutions of learning. We have the young people out of school. And we have the others who are young but above 18 years. The law against FGM, that is the Prohibition of Female Genital Mutilation Act 2011, is very clear on FGM, not only on the young people, but also on the older women. What is the role of the young people in ending FGM? Young people's voices are very important. So what the Anti-FGM Board has done is to work closely with the young people. So we have what a young people's movement that has been started by young people themselves. And so we partner with them because they are the ones who started it. It's called the Youth Anti-FGM Network Kenya. And these young people are the ones who run the movement. I'm proud to say that the chair is from Narok, Tito Motian. She's from Narok, the chair of the Youth Anti-FGM Network Kenya. And she has been leading the team for the last 3 years. And now we have launched a number of chapters of the Youth Anti-FGM Network Kenya. We have launched in West Pokot, in Samburu County, and we are heading to Marsabit County. And so we will launch in the 22 counties with the high prevalence of female genital mutilation. We are also looking at, we are also working together with the Ministry of ICT, because with the Presidential Directive to end FGM by 2022, we have no choice but to work very closely with the young people. That's why we have the National Youth Council. We have the Ministry of the State Department for Youth. We work very closely. The ministry is part of the multi-agency technical committee that the president has guided, that we work together to end FGM. And that's why the Anti-FGM Board is represented here today, because this is one government, one approach to ending female genital mutilation. And when we end female genital mutilation, then we should be able to have an empowered young people, and we should have women who are empowered. And an empowered woman is an empowered community. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, madam. Mmesikia hayo? An empowered woman is an empowered community. Sawa? And then, madam, we'd kindly request you to introduce yourself. Pole.
Yeah, I introduced myself. My name is Bernadette Loloju. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Anti-FGM Board.
Thank you so much, madam. So going to our next question. So this question, we'd like to direct it to the CEO, National Youth Council, Mr. Ray Sasaka. Which program has NYC developed to entrench national values and principles of governance among the youth and build their capacity to enable them to participate in leadership, community service, promote voluntarism, and patriotism?
Thank you so much for that. My name is Roy Sasaka Telewa. I'm the CEO of National Youth Council. In National Youth Council, we normally say Sauti ya Vijana. So I just want to engage you kidogo. When I say NYC, say Sauti ya Vijana. NYC. Let's say with a little of energy so that I can also draw that energy from you. NYC.
Sauti ya Vijana.
Sauti ya Vijana.
NYC.
So that is the slogan of National Youth Council, and that informs why the government actually saw it fit to put that institution in place. So when you look at the program for inclusivity and participation, I think NYC itself is that program by the government. So it's just an avenue where young people can harness their voice to inform policy. Of course, now to achieve this, we have different programs like Uzalendo program, which is a civic engagement program to just engage young people. And of course, there's also Sawazisha Gumzo, which is an intergenerational dialogue, and which is just an equivalent of KIKAO as well, what we are doing right here. And the most important thing is just to harness the youth voice, see what the young people are saying, and how do we actually amplify that so that then the youth voice is heard in policies and legislations and across all spheres. And just not to mention, just to mention why we have also Director Job here, is that when you look at National Youth Council, we have the National Youth Council, and then we have the Youth Advisory Board. If we are reading today's newspaper, you can see that the CS Jom Sheru gazetted the Youth Advisory Board, an avenue also just to harness the youth voice to inform policy as well. And that's why we have the youngest director here from Naivasha, who is here to represent the young people at that board. So when you look at National Youth Council, ours is just simple. Can we have a framework where young people can be engaged, their voice can be harnessed, and we can co-create programs with the young people? So in the same vest, I think we should also, as we celebrate today, that KIKAO Gava Eco Ground, we also celebrate that Youth Advisory Board is also here and a platform for young people to engage. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Haya, our next question goes to NTSA, madam. So we'd like to know, what is your organization doing to promote youth safety on the road? What is the organization doing to promote youth safety on the road?
Thank you so much. My name is Aska David from National Transport and Safety Authority. I'm the regional manager for South Rift. When we talk about road safety is a national security. When you look at the statistics, we find that each year we lose that about 3,500 people in Kenya. But globally, we lose about 1.3. That's a huge number. If we put names to those numbers, those are our siblings, those are our parents, those are our relatives. What NTSA is doing to promote road safety. Actually, before I go that, the youth in the bracket of 15 to 35 counts the majority of deaths on our roads. Why? Because of speeding, distracted driving, carelessness, even on crossing the road. We know that there's not enough NMT facilities for our youth to use. But with what we have to be keen on the road. What NTSA is doing, we are regulating the public service vehicles to ensure that once a vehicle is involved in an accident, we are able to trace and be able to teach those drivers and conductors on safety issues so that they can be able to take care of our people on the road. When it comes to the youth, we train them, we do sensitization. We have also mainstreamed road safety in all government MDAs. Road safety is an integral part of every government institution now. Every person has a personal responsibility to ensure that we are safe on the road. If we follow the statistics, whereby we say we lose 3,500 people in a year, we just have to have a radical change of mind at a personal level to be able to take care of ourselves when we are on the road. NTSA can do this much. We can regulate, we can inspect the vehicles just to ensure that we have good vehicles on the road. But the statistics says 90% of the accidents that happen on the road are due to human error. That means if human error contributes to 90%, the mechanical issue, the issues on the road, they just contribute to 10% of what it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam. So we also have another question that goes to Director Momanyi from Horn of Africa. So the question that we'd like to pose to you is, what challenges does your organization face while engaging with the youth, and how can you address them?
Thank you very much, Awerimu. I'm glad to be in Narok County, the great of culture. My name is David Momanyi and I work for the Horn of Africa Youth Network. Some of the challenges that we have witnessed in engaging the young people, not only in Kenya, but across the continent actually, is about the attitude. We young people, there is aspect that we need to be able to improve in our area. Again, in many years ago, the people who have worked with the Ministry of Youth Affairs before, there was aspect of spirit of volunteership. But nowadays, young person, they are not actually willing to be able to volunteer, even in a church, to get an opportunity or to get an experience. What they are actually, this generation that we are asking is about money. We need to be given money so that we can be able to look for opportunities. So it's something that we need to be able to change, and also how we can be able to work together. And how you can be able to address these particular challenges. It's actually high time that we as young people we need to follow the passion. What is your passion, and also how you can be able to contribute in that particular passion so that you can be able to build yourself. And also, as we move, because we have discussed in the morning, in the last 2.5 hours here, some they have asked questions about youth and employment. They have asked how they can be able to access jobs. Many times, let me say something here. When someone actually is going to look for employment somewhere, and many CEOs will tell you here, the first thing that they normally look is the character of a person. Will this person work for this particular institution? Another thing is confidence. You can come like this, and I can be able to see if you can be able to fit in this particular institution. And another one is the spirit in terms of actually holding the teamwork. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Mumesikia vile director sema? Positive attitude, character, confidence. I hope you're noting all them down, sindio? Haya. Finally, we have a question to our director, Director Job. I'm sure you've heard that kumekuwa na issues sana mambo ya drug use and substance abuse na vijana wetu. And here uliona nikiuliza with regard to one of the challenges, some of them mentioned that it's actually a challenge in Narok. Mambo na miraa, mambo na pombe. What would you have to comment with regard to that issue?
Okay, thank you so much. As Wairimu said, my name is Job Jenga. I'm a member Youth Advisory Board, and I'm just lucky because I just come from around here. Therefore, what I'm going to say is maybe what directly involves you. And one thing I can say about drug abuse, why do we young people use drugs, abuse drugs, and other substances? One could be, although that one I don't know whether it's so much here, it's maybe peer pressure. So many people get into it because their friends are doing it. The other one is a way to radicalize from maybe they are trying to fight a certain feeling that they are not loved. Some other people feel that they are outcasts in some ways, that they cannot fit in such groups, and therefore the only way to console themselves is using drugs. The other thing is media. These things are there online. If you want to see other people, what they are doing in other parts of the country, other parts of the world, you can see it online, and therefore, so as to associate themselves to those people. They feel that a certain celeb, you know how they say a certain celeb is using it, therefore maybe suppose I use it, I can be like them. That association, that feeling of liking to get associated to some people, or trying to be like other people, maybe that one also drives young people into drugs and substance abuse. The last thing, which I don't think these people are suffering from, is maybe unemployment, that idleness. So many people are idle. They are not working. Therefore, so as to keep themselves going, they find themselves using drugs and maybe to some extent getting addicted to them. I don't want to say maybe poverty, because of course, these things are sold. They are never given for free. Therefore, poverty might not be the cause of drug and substance abuse. Therefore, the contrary is a reason. Having a lot of money that is not in use and you don't want to invest. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Director. Muwasikia wakubwa wetu vile wamesema. Sasa ningependa kufungua hii session for questions. Anyone with a question? Maybe tunaweza pangana hapa the first 3. Ndio tuuliza maswali. Nauliza maswali, unasema maybe your question who it's directed to, they can take notes, and then we can get to answer.
Thank you, Madam. I direct my question to Madam. Yeah. Madam, yes, in Narok County, the pregnancy is high. We want to reduce. Do you think this is the best time for government to allow contraception in schools, maybe to minimize this issue of pregnancy? The second query, I want to ask TSA. It's unfortunate to give us the 3,000 per year we lose our fellows Kenyans. It's unfortunate, by the way. What measure are you putting in place to make sure we reduce these people to get there? Because you are the people in charge of our vehicle on the road. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next question.
Habari yenu. Mimi naitwa Ledama na swali yangu nitaidirect kwa sababu ninaona kuna several government bodies zenye zinahusika na youth. Kuna KIKAO, kuna National Youth Council na kuna State Department for the Youth. So naona nyinyi wote mko pamoja hivi, so I can direct this question. You see, for most of the youth, opportunities zinakuanga nadra sana, ziko kidogo. And then usually, and I believe nyinyi wote mtaagree na mimi, most of the time tukiongelea issues za youth inakuanga zina revolve around entertainment, talent, nini. It is very right. It is good because entertainment is a big industry. However, youths pia wanaweza fanya other things. Youths wanaweza kuwa involved kwa industries. Unaona? Youth wanaweza kuwa involved kwa production, kwa a lot of things. See just entertainment na issues za talent peke yake. So like in a place like this Narok area, hakuna a lot of industries. There's very few industries in Narok. So anyone mwenye hajapata nafasi ya kwenda university ama college, opportunities zinakuwa kidogo. You get? Opportunities zinakuwa kidogo sana and there's little you can do. But nyinyi kama serikali mkiamua muongeze kukuwe na more opportunities, kuna vitu za tourism huku Narok. It is an industry that inaweza expandiwa na accommodate more youth. Watafanya. Kuna other industries nyingi za nyingine zenye hata zijaingia hapa. Kwa mfano, ini area yenye ukitembea kutoka huko TM uende all the way mpaka hata Tundulele, I think utakutana na zile the number of factories ama industries zenye utapata. I can assure you unaweza count maybe kwa mkono moja. Ukicompare na other areas, kwa mfano I'll mention 2 towns. Ukicompare area kama Kericho kwa mfano, ukitembea every short distance, maybe 200 meters, 300, ikienda sana maybe 1 kilometer, utakutana na factories kadhaa. You get? Kutakuwa na many factories. So hata kama kijana hayuko kwa entertainment, ya si DJ, si msanii, si mchoraji, si camera person, unaweza enda ufanye kazi ya chai. Unaona? Like these other things you can do. Hata hapo hivi ukienda place kama Ruiru, I've also been there for some time. Ukitembea Ruiru, distance it's not even a kilometer. Tuseme for people wenye wanajua Thika Road, ukitembea distance kutoka KU mpaka Zitek, mali Zitek iko, it's just a distance kwa highway. But hapo ndani ukiangalia tu just next to the highway, yeah? Before tuingie huko ndani tuseme tumeenda 10 kilometers from the highway. Hapo tu kando ya highway ukiangalia the number of industries zenye utapata ni mingi. It's more than 15. It's a very short distance between KU na Zitek. A very short distance, but utapata there's a lot of industries. So my point is, hata hapa Narok kunafaa kuwa na more opportunities for the youth. Isikuwe ati anytime tunaongelea stories za youth inakuwa kujeni muimbe, kujeni mdance, kujeni mkue DJ. Those are good. Hizo ni opportunities nzuri. Lakini youth wako na capacity ya kufanya more than that. Youth wanaweza kuwa involved kwa factories, kwa industries, kwa the whole economy ya Kenya. And we can also create new avenues za economy yetu so that kukuwe na other avenues zenye youth wanaweza generate dough, of which wakigenerate dough, it's the economy of Kenya that has done that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Najua wakubwa wetu wamesikia swali lako, lakini pia tungetaka kuanza na ile swali ya mbele. Iko mwingine? Haya. Ungetaka kuanza na swali ilikuwa ya mbele tu Madam Loloju. Maybe ungeweza kutujibu.
Okay, I want to talk about the issue of contraceptives. I know that the number of girls getting pregnant are between the age of 12 to 18, and those are children. And during the COVID-19 period, we had a very high number of girls getting pregnant. Government has given a policy on girls going back to school. Kenya is very open for the girls to go back to school after getting the babies, which for me I know has really helped a number of girls who had made wrong decisions to be able to continue with their education. And also we have the CBC new curriculum. Obviously at the beginning, there was a push for inclusion of sex education in the curriculum. But that was not something that was agreed upon. It was really a lot of push and pull. And so at the moment, as I talk from the government perspective, the issue of contraceptives is for those who are above 18 years, they can make a decision to go for contraceptives. But for the children, I don't advocate for that because I think we'll not be sending a very good message to our young people. It remains a fact that we have to protect our young people from being exploited, and that is our role. So every parent, for me, is that all parents should try as much as possible to mentor the girls. But I know we lose a number of girls to teenage pregnancies, but that doesn't mean it's the end of their lives. Yeah, so for the government, contraceptives for under 18, no. Yeah. So it's not something which is being discussed even. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam. Tumpigia makofi. The next question, I believe, was to NTSA.
Thank you very much. Very good question. What will NTSA do to reduce these crashes, whereby we lose 3,500 people annually? The UN Decade of Action 2021-2030 states we should reduce those accidents by 50%. That is there about 1,500 per year. How can we do this? One of the things that we do is to do road safety audits. Road safety audits is identifying roads where we have black spots and treating those black spots. Identifying roads whereby we don't have NMTs and having NMTs installed in those roads. Working with other road institutions, Kura, Kenya, to help us have a safe system approach whereby they make roads that are forgiving, roads that even if you make a mistake, the road itself forgives you, so that the level of deaths in the roads go down. We're also looking at regulating of the border industry. I know previously it was very hard to get a license for border, but now there is Class A. Driving license has been professionalized. You start from A, B, C, D. You can do all that. We have A for borders. You can walk into a driving school and just learn on how to ride a motorcycle. We term these people of borders so that the accident can go down, because they also contribute to huge numbers. Who are these people who are riding these borders? These are the youth. I said earlier, majority of these accidents are due to human error. If 90% of these accidents are due to human error, then if we remove the human aspect of it, if the humans decide that personally, I will be safe on the road, I will follow the rule of the road, I will not speed, I will not use my phone while I'm driving. Youth, the Subaru people, we will not do crazy moves on the road. We will not overtake on a continuous yellow line. We will not overtake in sharp corners. Those are human errors. The law is there. Do not overtake on a continuous yellow line. But yet, you see a Subaru person at 180, I don't know if it's on 200. If we make that cautious decision, then the accident will actually go low. And we say the age group 15 to 35, those are the majority. Those are our youths. The solution to this problem is with the youth. My colleague here talked about attitude change. If we change our attitude when we are on the road, you don't have to be right. You say that now that guy is overtaking and it's my lane. You cannot even give them the opportunity to go back to their lane. You just decide to do an add-on because you are on the right side. That means you've killed yourself, you've killed the people you carried, you've killed even that fellow Kenyan who was making a mistake. That if you decided to say, I will save that person by giving him an opportunity, even if he's overtaking carelessly, I give him an opportunity to go back to his lane, then we will save a lot. My friend, this road safety is our personal responsibility. If we decide as youth, we will not reduce these crashes by 50%. We might as well reduce it by 90%. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam. Mmesikia? Aya, kulikuwa na swali ya mwisho. Maybe our CEO, National Youth Council, would be able to address that question.
Kuna swali ambayo my fellow youth aliuliza akiongea mambo ya industries, Narok, fanya pia comparison na counties zingine. That is the same reason why the ministry in support being powered by Vision 2030 is here today. And that is what we do as the Ministry of ICT to make sure that vijana hizi opportunities ziko wapi. And that's why the first session in the morning ilianza na youth fund. Watuambie kuna pesa na hii pesa imeletwa Narok na vijana wa Narok wachukue hii pesa waanzishe biashara. Ikafuatia na Kenya Film Classification Board na Kenya Film Commission wakisema these are the opportunities that are there for us. Alafu all these agencies, and that is why the ministry is very committed that vijana wa Narok lazima wa benefit from the opportunities available in government. And that is why we are here today. So to my fellow young person mwenye aliuliza hiyo swali, that is why we are here to have this KIKAO session. Tuzungumuze, tuulizane, tuseme pesa ndio hii, opportunities ndio hizi, vijana ni nini ndio shida, can we take advantage of them? And once we do that, then in the news next time MC atakuwa anasema after amepeana ile track ya youth fund last month, this month wamepeana ingine, next month wamepeana ingine, na vijana wa Narok tuko sawa sawa kabisa kama vijana wengine wote across the country. Na nikimalizia because nataka kupeana example ya entrepreneurship. Na huyu jamaa hapa ni entrepreneur, and that's why CS hata alimwapoint kwa sababu is a young man mwenye alianza biashara ile industries, na saizi vijana mko. Huyu jamaa saizi anaendesha Subaru, si ndio? Mmesikia wameongea mambo ya Subaru Huyu jamaa saizi anaendesha Subaru. Sasa nitampatia hata 1 second atuambie hiyo Subaru yake kulienda aje, na kama pia anapiganga hizo makelele kwa barabara. Nikimalizia moja, we are talking. The last thing that I also want to mention is that Waziri, the ministry has been gazetting the Youth Council election guidelines. So mazee, wakati ministry itasema sasa zianze, which is in the next 3 or 4 months, tunataka kuona vijana wamekuja, wameelektiwa, na pia sasa wanaserve. Sasa isikue tu tukikuja kwa hii function wanakuja kuimba peke yake, ama wanakuja ku MC, wanakuja kama na council members wa National Youth Council. So director, the owner of Subaru, wacha waambie what was his secret as we conclude this session.
Mambo. So I want to echo whatever he said. Actually, that is true. Lakini, my version is different kidogo. Me, I don't value employment, that form of employment at all. I'm an actuarial scientist by profession. I did actuarial science in the university. And what I did immediately after finishing school, unajua ile mambo ya shule, ukiwa university unajua immediately I'm done with campus, napata job hapo. Ikikosa, what do? Do you get to drugs? Do you get frustrated? You don't. What I did, I started a small business somewhere. By then, Madam, the regional director, or rather the regional manager, NTSA was not there. Nikaanzia na driving school kidogo hapo Maimahiu. Hata saa hizi mnajua, mkifika hapo Maimahiu mnaona driving school kana hadi kwa Park View. Hako nikaangu nilianzia hiyo baada ya kumaliza university. Sikuenda kuwazo ati nilie, I never got a job. Then what? Do I cry? Do I sit down and assume that I never went to school? I went to school properly. And I schooled properly like any other graduate. But because there is no job opportunity, I have to do something for my living. Right? After that, nikakaa kidogo nikaangalia market. Nikaona hapa kuna watoto wengi wanamaliza high school, primary school, wengine wanakosa chance ya kuingia high school. Nikaanzia high school kanaitwa St. Mary's. Ninapata student kutoka Ololonga, niko na student wengine wanatoka Siampei. Hata siku anajua Siampei ni wapi. Nimejua saa hizi asubuhi nikikuja. But I have students from where? Siampei. So I have a high school and I have a driving school na niko na miaka 29. Nikiangalia wale watu nimeemploy ni watu wenye ni graduate pia. Kwa hivyo as they were going out to seek employment, wakapata pahali kuna kabiashara kidogo na wakaingia hapo na wakapata employment. What do I want to tell you now? There are no industries in Narok. There are no factories in Narok, but you are there. Money is here. Kila mtu ako hapa kukuambia kujia pesa. If you don't have an idea, you can seek it online. Tafuta business ideas online. Kama hakuna, go to your village. Look at an opportunity there. Look at the gap. Hawa watu wote wako na ng'ombe, maziwa inanunuliwa pesa kidogo. Angalia kama unaweza azia kakula anti kidogo. Unaweka hiyo maziwa so that prices go up. You sell a little bit at a higher price. Eda hapo nyumbani, angalia what is lacking at home. You start from there. Na ile kitu inakosa nyumbani, if you do it as a business, you get money. Right now, after having started such businesses, kukapatikana ka opportunity kidogo Nakuru County, and I was given a job by a governor. I am a senior statistician, Nakuru County government. Lakini if I must job, suppose today you are to leave one thing, what would I leave? That asubuhi tu, even without thinking. Na acha hiyo kazi ya governor na kuja kufanya biashara. There is money in business. There is money in business. Young people, youths who are here, it is the high time you take that chance. Wacha kuangalia ukigojea kazi itoke Nairobi. Hii Nairobi tumekaa tukisoma hakuna kazi. Wenye tuliacha huko wakijifanya wanafanya internship wametujoin in the village. Hapo Ololonga, hapo Siampei, kuna biashara unaweza anzia hapo na ikupee pesa mzuri. Tena pesa ingine yenye haina stress kidogo kidogo. And again, as you are growing older, remember you guys, you are not getting younger anymore. Last year you are, maybe if you are here and you are 27 years, last year you are 26. Next year you'll be 28. You are not growing younger. And suppose you get employed, the only thing you are doing is to help that organization grow. What about yourself? Right? If you are getting employed, you are employed by somebody somewhere. You are making his or her dreams come true. What about your dreams? What are you going to do when you are growing old? And maybe you have no pensions, you have nothing to save for yourself. What will you show to your kids? That when I was young, I did this. Right? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Director. Maswali yameisha. Iko ya mwisho hapa naona. Njoo. Mike tafadhali.
Ashole mamai. Kwa majina naitwa Lemoi Benjamin. I'm a great beneficiary of National Government Affirmative Action Fund. Tulianza MBI, Maasai Bee Giving Initiative. We are funded by the tune of 472,000. Alafu, na tulikuwa wachache sana, na in fact tulikuwa jobless. Na mama, wacha tu nikuambie kwa hii nafasi kwa sababu sitapata nafasi nyingine. We are able to train Nyankores Water Resource Users Association in Bomet, Talek Water Resource Users Association in Bomet. Wakati ulitusaidia na hiyo pesa tulikuwa tunaisha pale kwa Songoko. Na sahi tuko na a complete beekeeping station pale. A complete. Tulinunua shamba, tuliweza kununua shamba na tukajenga manyumba ya mabati. So it's a success story. Under Catherine huko Loita tulimpea 6 beehives costing 56,000. Tulimpea kuna kikundi ya wamama huko Mproperty tulimpea beehives costing 56,000. tuliweza kufaulu pia kushikana na wadau wengine tukana program yenye iko Tanzania Loliondo inaitwa PALSEP, Pastoralist Livelihood and Husband Program. Msoma Tanzania tuko na Resource Water Users Association na Tarime bado tuko naye. Tuliweza kuingia mahali kama Nkutoto Lang'at Enterit, tuliweka kidogo na we have just received a single funding. Na mimi sijaajiriwa na serikali, hiyo ndio inaniajiri hata mimi. Na nimemaliza Moi University in environmental biology. Sasa I just one question, because I'm one of the greatest beneficiaries of that program ya mama, ningeuliza kama kuna how can we sustain, kwa sababu ukijaribu kuangalia hizo group zote across the whole county and the program is growing, to sustain is a problem. Na hatujaipata hiyo nene. Ukijaribu kuangalia kwa mfano kama hii mashini, kuna mashini hapa tumeanza kununua kutoka Malaysia hapa costing 500,000 na ni electric ya kufanya processing. Kuna ingine hapa bado all of them bado ni electric. Huwezi pata mashini hapa chini ya 1,300. Ingine ni 1,300, ingine ni ya 500,000. So we are seriously struggling kwa sababu hatujapata mpaka, in fact we are seriously struggling kwa sababu tumeanzishiwa kazi lakini bado hatuja ile extension services and follow up bado hatujapata. Hata wewe hatujai kukuona. Nashukuru ni hiyo tu.
Asante sana. Swali langu kwanza, kwa majina naitwa Olepan Steven, kiongozi wa vijana kaunti ya Narok. Kila ambayo imeniamusha masaa ya maswali ilikuwa imepita, lakini nilikuwa very bitter kama singeuliza. Ningeuliza wale ambao walioko hapa na wale ambao wanasikiza na watafikia ujumbe ya kwamba changamoto ambayo tunapitia tukiwa vijana, kwa nini hatuna a rehabilitation center in Narok County? Jambo la pili ambayo ningeuliza wahusika pia, kwa upande ya FGM, we don't have a national government rescue center. Na hapa ndio inaongoza kwa mambo ya teenage pregnancy na hiyo mambo ya cultural practices. So national government kwa siku ya leo ambao umeviveka, mkiwa gava ikiwa kwa ground, mkiwa kwa ground hakuna rescue center ya wasichana ambao wanatupitia dhuluma kule mashinani. Kwa hivyo hiyo mufikishe, kama hakuna wala ambao wataweza fikisha waulizwe maswali. Ya mwisho, tukiwa vijana, kwa mambo ya employment opportunity, mambo ya CRB ni ugonjwa ambayo iko, na kwa wala ambao watahusika kwa ministry ya youth, muangalie, kwa sababu tunapo apply hizi pesa zote kuna hayo vikwazo na hatuna mashamba sisi tukiwa Wamasai ati unasema ni yako. Kwa hivyo muangalie hizo obstacles na mtuondolee.
Asante sana. Swali la mwisho sasa.
Thank you very much. My name is Kilesi, and I'm asking again I want to direct my specific question to Dr. Loloju. Madam, I love you so much, and you know that. And I love you because I know where you've started. When Madam Pareyo and you stand for issues concerning FGM, then novels can be written. Personally, I can write a couple of novels about it. There is a positive increase of FGM awareness in the community. It is actually reducing. Our sisters, our relatives are not getting circumcised anymore. FGM is going down. That is positive. My question is this now. The generations that are aligned to me before my existence are around 9. My great-great-grandmother up to my mother are circumcised. So it is a notion of the culture that we are a people whose women are circumcised. Now, you, Madam Loloju, and my mother there, Madam Pareyo, are advising us not to circumcise our daughters anymore. But now it is a problem that we are solving that is rising to another problem. There is stigma. Stigma is coming. A young man, your son like me, who wants to marry an uncircumcised girl is facing stigma from my fellow youth. We are having segregation that women who are married and they are not circumcised, they are facing a lot of stigma. We are having a problem that ladies cannot stand to advise others that they are not circumcised and they are living well because they fear stigma. There is a lot of stigmatization that is growing to a level of HIV in those recent years when you guys are starting. That is my first question. What are you going to do now that you are privileged? You are the CEO of a national-owned department dealing with this pandemic. How are you going to ensure that as much as we have a rescue center, we are also rescuing those parents, those ladies who are facing stigmatization? We are having our parents not involved in family meetings and all that because they're fighting against FGM. We are having some of our parents being given names, being chased from homes, losing their marriages. I cannot articulate all. How are we going to solve this issue of stigmatization so that we can see FGM as a national agenda and as not a cultural sort of a thing? That is my first question to you, madam. And I know you'll answer it very well and put it into action. Number 2, I am asking to kuna hii kitu inaitwa National Youth Council. NYC ni sauti ya vijana, si ni ukweli? So I want to give you a question, sort of a challenge, mister. Where is the voice of the youth? Where statistically 70% of Kenyan population are youth. 70% of Kenyan population are youth. I want you to answer me, and I hope you not quote Joe Musheru, that when we are having the share of the national cake, the 70%, which is actually, and normally, not even from a mathematical world, is 70% is bigger than the rest. Because if we have 70, it means that the remaining is 30, which is smaller than 70. Now, where is the 70% share from the national cake going to the youth? Saiwe ukikuwa CS, the people that you'll give the job at the department are people that you know, sindio? Unajua boy amefanya actual science, atafanya hii kazi. You connect to those youth. Na sasa, sisi from the national cake, let's take for example the cabinet secretaries, the principal secretaries, the CASs. How many are youth? How many can we say they are youth? What connection do we have? And that is the problem we are facing as youth. I fail to get a tender because I know nobody. I fail to secure that job to give me a starting capital because I know nobody. This guy has a Subaru. He's telling us he has a Subaru, but he's failing to tell us where he has gotten his starting capital. Are you getting that? That's what we fail to understand. So that's my question to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. I believe tutaanza na Madam Loloju.
Simama. Thank you so much, my son. Allah. Nimesimama. Thank you so much, my young son from Oljoro, I suppose. Yeah, you must have been in school when I was doing the campaign, and when I started the campaign in Oljoro, Siabei area. Stigma, FGM, being a cultural practice. As I stand here, I'm a survivor of FGM. I went through FGM when I was around 12 years, just before I joined high school. And right, we have stigma for women who have been cut. We have stigma for those women who are saying no, especially in a community where FGM is believed to be the reason why you should be a woman. One question I want to ask: does FGM make you more of a woman than the one that has not been cut? The young people, the Maasai men here. Yes, answer. Buni, Allah. Does FGM, according to you young people, because this is the generation that we are expecting to end FGM. Is the woman who has been cut better than the one who is not cut, or the one who is not cut better than the other one? You see now, the uncut women will say we are better. The cut ones will say we are better. So where do we stand now? Here is, there is a lot of stigma. Whether you know, even for me to stand here and say I was cut, it's not easy. It has taken a lot of courage for me to stand and say I was cut, yeah? Because a woman, you can never know a woman who is cut and one who is not cut when you look at their faces. So I have a young son here who tells the mother that the wife you have married is not cut. How does she know? How does she know? How does your mother-in-law know that I'm not cut? I've come, you have married me, so who tells your mother that I'm not cut? At what point do you tell your mother that I'm not cut or I'm cut? Yeah? Yes. If the husband knows, then how does my mother know? Yeah? Mama's boy. Mama's boy goes to tell mama that my wife is cut or is not cut. So my challenge goes back to you people. Stigma is on both sides, whether you're cut or not cut. But it is the young people, the people of today, you are the ones to end it once and for all. You are the ones to change their narrative. You are the ones to make sure that your sisters are safe. Because if the sister to this young man is safe, then tomorrow when the friend comes and the girl becomes his wife, then she will have been saved from FGM. As I stand here as a survivor, I cannot tell the suffering women go through who have gone through the cut. That place is so, what can I say? Ni kama chemichemi ya maji. Haitakikani iguzwe. Hapo ndio Mungu anapitisha wanadamu wote. Why should you interfere with where God has specifically, in fact hiyo ndio ilikuwa ya mwisho alicreate. Hatujaongea naye lakini hiyo ndio ilikuwa ya mwisho. Akahakikisha it's well done. Na akasema ni mzuri. Na mwanaume alipoamuka, nafikiri hiyo ndio kitu ya kwanza aliona juu. Kila mtu alikuwa uchi. Akaambia Mungu hii ni mzuri. In fact hakusmile alipoona kila kitu Mungu alimpea. Lakini alipoona hapo akasema kila kitu hapa sasa ni mzuri. Sawa sawa. So I understand the stigma. But we are the ones. And here is mama. Mama amesimama. Pigeni mama makofi.
Thank you so much, Madam CEO. I'm here to answer the question. Where is that young man? Huyo kijana yangu. Yeah, uko hapo. Your question was on the stigma. Sindio? You wanted to know kwamba stigma, utakuwa stigmatized if you marry an uncircumcised girl. But look at the century we are in. Sindio? Mambo mengi yamebadilika. Tunakosa kuendelea kwa sababu we keep referring to the past. Sindio? Nashukuru sana.
This is what I want to ask again for clarity. We are treating FGM na imeenda chini. Then, sasa, we are having a problem. You are my mother, you're circumcised. The generations that are 8 behind you are circumcised. I fear a girl like this one who is not circumcised because I fear stigmatization. Na kaure tena sokenye tena I feel odd one out in the society. Are we together? So those that are not circumcised are now feeling more stigma until they want even to get circumcised. What can we do to end this stigma? Thank you.
One thing is that we have a law. And this law, the Act of Parliament, outlaws female genital mutilation. And in the law, there is a chapter that says, ukikuwa stigmatized, huyu msichana akiitwa majina, you call them all the names that you want. She can take you to court if she can prove that. That is one. The other one is, people are going to church. We are all civilized. You live in your own small land. We all of us live in the communal land that we used to live in. You are by yourself. This is your wife who will go telling people that she has not been cut or you need to be cut. Your wife, if she has not been cut, let her have confidence in you. And you also have confidence in your wife. And speak it out to the other people that my wife have not been cut and I don't want anybody to interfere with her and I don't want anybody to cut this girl. And by so doing, we shall all be able to open up and start speaking it out. The problem we have is nobody comes out. We have no role models who come out speaking that me I have not been cut. Like the way I can say, me I have been cut and I'm okay and I'm regretting why I was cut. I wish I was given that chance to say yes or no. I would have chosen to say no to FGM. Because FGM has problems and FGM is a problem already to women that have been cut. And especially in the Maasai community. Because you see our women go through so many difficulties after they have been cut. And this is an issue that has never been discussed by anybody. We have type 1 of female genital mutilation, that is Suna. We have type 2, and most of our Maasai women go through type 2. And when you look at type 2, what it is, they do the cutting, they cut the labia majora, the labia minora, including the clitoris. What they leave there is a scar. And when this lady is giving birth, the scar cannot open up to give room for the baby. So you'll always be hearing your elderly women talking about who is an expert, who can we call to come and help this girl, but they have never related that to FGM. And I thank God that you have all mentioned that they have stopped cutting these girls. So what we need to do as anti-FGM is to go to the field, talk to these elderly women to accept the girls the way they are. And the decisions they have made are right and correct, and they should be left not to be cut. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hiki kikao cha saa hizi nitasema kitakuwa kimeisha, but maswali yenye yote mko nayo, simona pale kuna tents, kuna WEF, kuna anti-FGM, kuna MSEA, kuna Postbank, kuna National Youth Council. Tafadhali kujeni na maswali yenu yote yenye mko nayo na mmeona labda mjajibiwa. Sawa? Thank you so much for the opportunity. Na pia tutawapigia wageni wetu makofi kuambia shukrani kwa kuketi na sisi hapa katika kikao hiki. Asante.
Kimanza the beat. Vision Records.
Thank you. DJ. Kidogo tu. Naomba tusimame kidogo. Kidogo tu. Tunasimama kidogo. That's encouraging us. We need to keep on moving. Maybe I guess you prepare. The team. That is a Kimasai song trying to encourage us to work together. Thank you, DJ. Thank you. We can remain seated. That was so nice. Thank you. That was a quite encouraging engagement. And let's take opportunity. Kuna exhibition tents pale. Some of the information zenye tumeuliza. In fact, kama tungete time to put it through. These people are here for. Tulisema gava iko ground. Na gava iko kwa ground. Basically walikuja wote leo. watupate kutuambia what exactly do we need to hear, what are the challenges we've been facing. And in that regard, the moment we interact with these guys, we make use of them. The chances of us probably facing the problems again or the challenges will be minimal. So let's make use of all the exhibition tents and make sure at least you collect something at the end of the day as we network. Kidogo tu, maybe niwakumbushe. Basically for the Narok County, I know Narok County is Narok East, Narok West, South, Emuru Adikiri. And kwa sema, KIKAO is basically an inclusive of all these organizations you can see here. So just to correct about kuna mmoja akasema kuna KIKAO, kuna nini. KIKAO is it can everything as a package. And this is how tulikuwa sema. Tukisema gave kwa ground, tuko tuna, si ndio? Sasa nataka kusikia wase wa different parts kutoka mpaka kule, that is Emuru. Are we still in the ama tumepitwa na wakati, si ndio? So this is what we do. Nikisema gave kwa ground, tukienda kwa Narok East, nikisema Narok East gave kwa ground, tunasema wakilisha be, si ndio? So nataka tuwakilishe base for once, the last time, and I promise you to very fast, to be very brief, next session. So nikisema gave kwa ground, tunasema akilisha be, si ndio? Tuko poa, tuko pamoja. Thank you. Narok East gave kwa ground, aya sawa. Wase wa North gave kwa ground. Nasikia Stella ndio maana ameongea kwa mara kwanza leo. Aya, wase muko nani? Gave kwa ground. Inaonekana wase wa South ndio walifika wachache ama ni njaa imewapata. Aya, Emuru Adikiri gave kwa ground. Thank you. So in the next session itakuwa very brief. Nitasimama mimi hapa mwenyewe. Siwezi toka. Kama itasema 2 minutes, it's exactly 2 minutes. If it's 1 minute, it's exactly 1. So since Gava imekuja kwa ground leo, imekuja Narok, we would like to know what are the challenges we are facing as the youth of Narok. So I'll give 3 guys, but very brief, exactly 2 minutes, and I'll be standing next to you. So kujaribu ku-explain the challenges we are facing as Narok County. Ningetaka tuanze na the female youth. Unajua tuko na justice. Now we need to respect that order. So in that regard, let's start with the female youth representative, Stella Kasura. And it should be exactly 2 minutes.
Gava kwa ground.
Wakilisha base.
Gava kwa ground.
Wakilisha base.
Acha niwaambie mumeroroa. Shida ni nini? Njana si niliona hiyo bagi imewekwa soda. Mumesikia? Wanasema soda haitoshi. Wanataka sembe. Sawa, thank you. Youth wanasema soda haitoshi. Wanataka sembe. So tuta hiyo sawa? So the PS, Honorable Charles Sunkuli, the CAS is present. The chair, anti-FGM board, the CEO, anti-FGM board, the government officials represented here, all protocol observed. My fellow youth, hamjambo? Hamjambo? Leo muko down mbaya. Leo mko down mbaya haki ya nani? Yaani nilikuwa nafikiria hii event itashikisha kushikisha. Shida ni nini? So my name is Stella Kasura. I work with the youth here. And I'm going to talk about the challenges that the youth face. But before I do that, I'm going to start by thanking the PS for hosting this wonderful event where the youth can articulate their issues. On a normal day, sisi tunaoneanga hizi vitu kwa TV. Hatujaifikiwa kwa ground, si ndio? Leo wamekam kwa nini? kwa ground na shukuru sana. Also, I want to thank the government of Kenya for appointing the PS as the PS for State Department for Youth Affairs. Umseni wetu. Amezaliwa hapa, amekulia hapa. Nasikia mwingine akisema governor, sijui hiyo inamaanisha nini? So we thank the government for giving him that opportunity to serve the youth. He's someone who understands the youth very well, and we hope that within that time frame that he's going to serve the youth, he's going to work on all the challenges that the youth face. I'll talk about the Kenya Youth Development Policy 2019. We appreciate what that policy is doing, and we hope that it's going to assist in articulating the challenges that the youth face. What I'm going to ask the State Department for Youth Affairs is to ensure that the youth on the ground are totally involved. Hatutaki ifanyikie pale Nairobi, alafu wale wako pande hii wanasahaulika. Tunaomba kila youth kwa kila kona ya Kenya, not Narok County only, but the whole of Kenya is totally considered, especially when making decisions that concern the youth. Hakuna vile mtu ambaye ako 35 years and above anaweza articulate issues za youth better kama huyo youth mwenyewe. Kwa hivyo tunaomba tuone wale youth wamehusishwa 100%. Hatutaki hiyo ya 20% ndio youth, 80% ni adults. Hatukatai adults wako na wisdom na tunaheshimu wisdom yao, lakini tunataka youth watako issues zao kwa sababu hao ndio wanaijua vizuri. No, bado points mbili, we ngoja niliziandika down. Alafu I want to talk about the youth empowerment centers. We appreciate the government for constructing a youth empowerment center in each sub-county, isipokuwa hii moja ya Narok East. Bwana mheshimiwa, tunaomba uintervene. Vijana wa Narok East wanahitaji youth empowerment center. Tunaomba utuongezee moja huko. Alafu wale officers tutaweka pale, wacha wakwe tu vijana. Tupatiwe wazee wawili wa kutupatia wisdom, alafu tukue na ofisa wengine wenye ni vijana wa kufanya hiyo kazi. Na zile youth empowerment center zote, I appreciate what is happening at the youth empowerment center in Narok County. It is well, but not totally fully equipped. Tunaomba tukue hata kama ni sewing machines pale, so that hao wasichana wenye wanajua kushona waingie pale, washone vitu zao, waende wauze, wapate income, wanunue masubaru. Wale vijana ambao wanafanya sanaa, wale vijana wenye wanafanya sanaa, kama wale vijana walituimbia hapa, watengenezewe ka studio pale kwa kona, wa record for free. Tunataka wa record for free because just like the panelists said, the youth do not have that much money to do all that. At least kama gava inaweza tusukuma kiasi itupatie ako ka studio, alafu tu record, then tuipeleke pale YouTube ama any other social media platform, tutakuwa sawa. Pia tufikirie other things we can put in these youth empowerment centers, because we just building. We want a functional building, something that accommodates the needs of the youth. No, sijamaliza. Ngoja kidogo. Kuna kijana ameongea kuhusu sanaa. It is very sad that the youth huwa wanahusishwa tu kwa entertainment. I have worked very closely with Linda Arts Organization who are here, and it's an artist it's an artist organization. Hao watu wamesafa, maze tumesafa. Tunataka kama itawezekana. Now I'm doing this request direct. Semeni devolution. Sahi wanaenda kukubamba ukiwa SDY. Bazu fanya mambo. Changamkia wase. Wacha State Department for Youth Affairs round hii. Ipe Linda hata kama ni kamera moja. State production even of about 10 episodes that can be taken to Maisha Magic East or DSTV in general. Say waanze kupata income. Nikisema hivyo najua you know what I mean. These people entertain us, and we cannot have an event like this without entertainment. Entertainment is food for the soul. Wacha tusaidia wa vijana, na sio Linda peke yake. Vijana wengine wenye wako na talanta isiyokuwa ya ofisi. Tumefanya by the HR, tukasomea PR, hii nyingine inaitwaje, accounts, tumezifanya, tuko na hizo degree, lakini ukweli ni kwa market is really limited. So what about we invest in the talent that we have now? So bwana PS, I'm challenging you kindly, cheza kaa wewe. Ase wanajua we ni bazuu, usituangushe mazee, usituangushe. Kwa hiyo machache na washukuru sana vijana, mjibambe, hii siku ni yenu. Gava imekuja kwa ground, tuchangamke na tupatiane mashida zetu in plenty. Asanteni sana.
Thank you. Let's appreciate her once more. I know for the youth, I'm going to tackle much more. Those are the Linda Arts. She's part and parcel of the Linda Arts. That's the reason why they are that cheerful. Straight to the male youth representative, Brian Lemayan. And it's exactly 2 minutes.
Vijana oye. Vijana oye. I will not want to say much because a lot has been said. Na vijana wameongea mengi. There's an issue majorly employment, and the panelists ambao walikuwa hapa, they've given us the statistics. Wanasema every year around 1 million, approximately 500,000 to 1 million youth wanatoka from tertiary organizations. That's a very big number yenye haina mahali ya kwenda, and we have a big issue on that. My point of view is that the solution is on political leadership, and especially on Narok. Investment in Narok haijakuwa mzuri. We have been having issues here, land and all that. Mine is to request the political leadership to make investment in Narok a little bit better. Excuse me. So that investors wakikuja kutoka nje, they can invest here peacefully na waweze kuemploy the youth, because the youth saizi they are tribeless. We say that we are tribeless. Kenya tunataka ni job, tunataka pesa kwa mfuko, si ndio? There's another issue about FGM. Ambaye that there is quite a lot of FGM may concentrate more on the ladies or the girls, na vijana wajakuwa involved. And if you look at it, there is a very big silent demand, ukiangalia in terms of economically, because it's supply and demand. There is a very big silent demand from the boys, because hawajaifunzwa on the issues of FGM. There are so many cases of youth senders, anaenda shule, anagraduate, ikifika saa ya kuolewa anaenda for the FGM, because the demand says lazima akue amekatwa. What we want right now to do is to change the conversation on the disadvantages of FGM. Na vijana wakue pia involved, so that demand ya ladies who are circumcised ipungue, kwa sababu hao tu ndio wanakosa hiyo demand, because the ladies wana understand how FGM in our affect. So yangu ni hayo, na nashukuru sana serikali. Tunashukuru sana serikali for hosting the function here in Narok today and recognizing us. Nashukuru sana bwana CAS, I mean the lady Abdalla. Tunashukuru sana. Tunashukuru PS Nkuli and all government officials ambao wamekuwa involved. Asanteni sana.
Thank you. Let's cheer for. Hey Lema, that was nice, eh? Ati Lema amesema gari bila break haiwezi enda mbali. Na ni ukweli. Sometimes you kutoa gari break ni itaenda mbali, si ndio? Thank you. The last speaker for the special needs, Ruben Mbat.
The CS, the CSS, and all protocol. Youth wazangu hoye, gava on the ground. Tuko base. Asante sana.